Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH the Flame Emperor episode number 55 based on novel. So let's start. Damn it, I didn't expect this Ghost Emperor to actually master ghost skills. Even among the 9 Ghost Emperors, there are only a few people who can use the legendary ghost skills. The 9 Soul Steely also said viciously. It seems that I still underestimate the power of the twin Ghost Emperors. Chang Yu also said coldly. Originally, Wu Jiang felt that this point-grabbing competition would not be so simple, so the secret letter was passed on to their deputy pavilion owner, Chang Yu, a strong man at the peak of the 7-star Do Emperor. When Hongpao Chang Yu came to this infernal corpse forest, he also floated in the dark, in order to give this infernal corpse a fatal blow at a critical moment. But what Chang Yu didn't expect was that the power of the twin Ghost Emperors was stronger than he imagined. When he confronted and sealed the twin Ghost Emperors, Chang Yu just happened to be absent, so his estimate of the power of this ghost was wrong. Damn it! Is there no other way? Hudu also snorted coldly, then looked at the blood-colored vortex above the sky. The blood-colored vortex above the sky, although a small gap was opened by a few of them, and then was attacked by the 9 Souls monument with the immortal sword, but apart from the reduced ghost energy, it did not achieve other more powerful effects. The sturdy degree of this blood-colored vortex, the terror has reached the level of the 8th rank Do Emperor. Even if we do our best, we still need 5 7-star Do Emperor level powerhouses to join forces to open it up. Chang Yu also secretly regretted. Obviously, if he had appeared earlier, then this kind of thing should not have happened. 5. The 9 Soul monument also shook its head at this time. Obviously, the people here now have lost Xiao Yan, who has no fighting power and no fighting spirit, and the 9 Soul monument itself is adding Chang Yu, and there are only 3 7-star Do Di. The powerhouse, with the addition of Tianhua Shenghu and Hu Du, 2 5-star fighting emperors, and a 6-star fighting emperor in Wu Jiang, it is obviously difficult to deal with the blood-colored vortex in front of him. You can only go first. Otherwise, it will be troublesome after the evil spirit regains its power. Chang Yu also stopped when he was cut off. Wu Jiang and Hu Du, where are you going? Some of our team members who participated in this competition have been arrested by these people in the ghost world. You hurry up and rescue them. Chang Yu said coldly. Hu Du and Wu Jiang also shook their heads, then flew in the direction of a Chang Yu finger. With the departure of Hu Du and Wu Jiang, the fighting spirits of the 9 Souls monument above the sky and Chang Yu gradually calmed down. In this way, it was obvious that they had given up their resistance. Hey, I can only escape first. Chang Yu also shook his head, his eyes filled with disbelief. Obviously this time it was his own negligence. I can't blame you for that. The 9 Souls monument also spoke slowly. Obviously, the 9 Souls monument, which has been sealed for thousands of years, did not expect the twin Ghost Emperors to be so terrifying. Tianhua Shenghu, you did a good job this time. After you go out, you will be able to regain your freedom. The 9 Soul monument also said slowly. Thank you, Senior. Tianhua Shenghu said respectfully. After all, he is also a kind of monster. It was only by chance that he entered the infernal corpse forest, but it was easy to get in and hard to get out. Mu Yingying ignored the conversation between the three, and her beautiful eyes turned slightly in a meeting between the blood-colored vortex above the sky and Xiao Yang behind her. Xiao Yang, what the are you doing? Mu Yingying also bit her lip, and obviously found Xiao Yang's actions, but what she just couldn't understand was that Xiao Yang, a boy with the strength of the 4-star Do Di in the early stage, how could he have the courage to deal with this twin Ghost Emperor who is as powerful as an 8-star Do Di? Although it is said that the twin Ghost Emperors at this time have suffered a lot of injuries, and their strength has entered the time of exhaustion, but they are also genuine 8th-grade Ghost Emperors, comparable to the powerhouses of the human 8-star fighting emperor level. Mu Yingying only saw that the blood-colored vortex above the sky continued to expand, and more ghosts kept pouring in, and the gap originally opened by Chang Yu and the others was instantly filled. In the dark, Mu Yingying can also feel that in the blood-colored vortex, a ghost like a heaven-shattering devil is being absorbed by the evil spirits. Once the blood-black vortex is completely transformed into black, then go to the corpse forest. Doomsday. On the other side, Xiao Yang was sitting in the air, his hands were separated from left to right, and a very delicate lotus seed in the center of his hands was slowly standing up, but at this time Xiao Yang's eyes were closed, and his hands wanted to close to varying degree. It was obviously blocked by an inexplicable force, so the speed was very slow. Above the sky, there was silence. On the ground at this time, Mu Feng and Yu Yu had both experienced a great battle, and the fighting chi in their bodies had also been consumed a lot, so their strength had also been weakened to varying degrees. Yueru, go. After Mu Feng finished speaking, he also flew in one direction. Yueru didn't say much, because when Mu Feng had just rumored, she told Yueru that she had received orders from Wu Jiang to rescue their participants this time. If those caught are not rescued, once they are merged with evil, the consequences will be too terrifying. Where are they going? Luo Guang also looked at Mu Feng and Mu Feng tiredly, and apparently also discovered that the Yin Corpse forest couldn't recover his grudge. The battle just now was spent to protect the remaining people. Too much. I don't know, but now we are grasshoppers on a rope. It's better to be together. Qiu Huanyao also said coldly. Obviously, although he didn't like several people at this time, Qiu Huanyao was also a smart person. Both Mu Feng and Yueru possessed some high-level pills to restore Douqi, and they didn't dare to offend them easily with their current Douqi. Let's go. After speaking, the group of people on the ground followed Yueru and Mu Feng, and together with Wu Jiang Du, they moved in the opposite direction to rescue those who were caught. At this time, the sky was covered with dark clouds, and the blood-black vortex had grown to a certain extent and then stopped, but an extremely terrifying giant face also appeared in the vortex. You humans just wait to die. Ha ha ha. The ferocious giant face is the face of the previous twin ghost emperors. Humph. Chang Yu also snorted coldly, and then an extremely terrifying Douqi cage instantly moved towards the giant face in the blood-colored vortex. Bang bang bang. When the terrifying Douqi cage just touched the blood-colored vortex, it was suddenly swallowed up. It's time to go. Chang Yu also shook his head, and then no longer hesitated. His vindictive aura was instantly pushed to the extreme, and then he waved gently towards the space in front of him. It's just strange that the space in front of him is not turbulent. What's wrong? The Nine-Soul Monument also said exhausted. This space seems to be imprisoned. Chang Yu also said with an ugly expression. Once the space is imprisoned, unless it is a strong man at the level of Dozian, it is impossible to break the restriction of this space. Damn it. Why is this space imprisoned? Isn't it okay when you came in? The Nine Souls Monument also said angrily. Don't get excited, it should have appeared when the twin ghost emperors used their ghost skills before. I'm still careless. Chang Yu also said with a look of resentment. Then he looked at the ferocious giant face above the sky and fell into contemplation. Provoking me to the ghost world is the end of it. You guys just wait for me to be swallowed up by me after my strength has recovered to the peak, and become a part of my ghost world. The harsh laughter also came from the giant face. Is there really nothing I can do now? Tianhua Shenghu also muttered. After a while, they will rescue the others. You go first, I will take care of the rest. Chang Yu also said solemnly. Obviously, the power in front of him is beyond Chang Yu's control, but the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility, so Chang Yu did not shirk at all, and took the next banner. What is this kid Xiao Yang doing? The weak Nine Souls Monument also noticed Xiao Yang at the side, and just saw Xiao Yang. His pupils shrank tightly. A force that made him extremely fearful was their Xiao Yang was born slowly in his hands. This power is... The Nine Soul Monument was also excited. There must be treasures under the soul-suppressing monument. This is unchanged from the ancient times, but although the Nine Soul Monument has guarded the twin ghost emperors for thousands of years, they still don't know what treasures are in the soul-suppressing monument. However, there is no doubt that the treasure in the Soul Requiem monument that he guards has the power to restrain the twin ghost emperors. In other words, the things in the soul-suppressing monument that he guards are the things that the twin ghost emperors are afraid of. At this time, the Nine Soul Monument also felt a familiar smell from Xiao Yang in the soul-requiring monument that he guarded. If it is normal, the Nine Souls Steely also thinks that Xiao Yang can't do anything, but what the Nine Souls Steely knows is that Xiao Yang is not only recognized by the treasures in the soul-requiring Steely that he guard, still a disciple of the Golden Dragon King. Even if any of these two identities are released, they will be looted. Because the treasures that can restrain ghosts in the ghost world are rare, let alone let the treasures take the initiative to recognize the owner, which is even more rare. And in other words, the strength, identity and status of the Golden Dragon King are the best among the 7 realms. Being able to be apprenticed by such a strong man really shows how extraordinary this Xiao Yang is. This kid Xiao Yang is really interesting. I hope you can bring us some miracles. The Nine Soul Steely also said slowly. Then after finishing speaking, his eyes were slightly closed, and the last remaining power in his body was also madly pouring into Xiao Yang. At this time, in order to integrate the powers of these three, Xiao Yang was using almost all his Douqi, even with the support of high-level pills that restored doqi, he was still struggling to support it. However, with the appearance of an extremely pure force from the Nine Soul Monument, it also relieved Xiao Yang a lot of pressure, and the compression action in his hand became faster. Nine Soul Monument, you are. Chang Yu also seemed to have noticed the movement of the Nine Soul Monument, and then said, "Since this is the end of the matter, then I'll take a gamble." The Nine Soul Steely also said slowly, and then the power was still being delivered continuously. The power in this kid. Chang Yu didn't notice it just now, but now he turned around and saw that the power in Xiao Yang's body caused all the ghosts to shy away. This is unheard of. Even if it is as strong as his 7-star Do Emperor powerhouse, he cannot achieve this level. What the is going on? Chang Yu was also surprised. This kid is the choice of what's in the Tablet of the Soul. The Tablet of 9 Souls also said slowly. Okay. Since that's the case, then I'll help you too. After Chang Yu finished speaking, an extremely pure power surged out instantly, and then gathered into Xiao Yang's body. With the influx of 2 extremely pure powers, Xiao Yang's power also skyrocketed at this time. The middle stage of the 4-star Do D. The late 4-star Do D. The late stage of the 6-star Do D. Impressively soared to the level of a 6-star fighting emperor. However, Xiao Yang didn't have time to rejoice. After all, he also knew that this sudden power was only to solve the immediate predicament. At this time, he could not care about any other sequelae. When the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger saw this, he just wanted to follow suit, but unexpectedly, the giant face in the blood-colored vortex suddenly opened violently, and then he seemed to have discovered Xiao Yang's actions, and a shocking fluctuation was quietly brewing. Not good. Tianhua Shenghu shouted loudly, then rushed out, and then ignored the attack that was still brewing. Humph. A beast, just looking for death. The giant face snorted coldly, and then an extremely terrifying black air instantly enveloped the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger. At this time, the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger, with red flames all over his body, faced the pitch-black attack without a single step, with a fierce look in his eyes, staring at the terrifying attack in the mouth of that giant face, because the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger knew that Xiao Yang's attack was their last chance. If they were destroyed when Xiao Yang was gaining momentum, then their consequences would be irreversible. So no matter what you say, you can't let this attack come out. Then go to hell. The giant face also said savagely, and then the terrifying ghostly energy was instantly besieged, and it would drown the entire body of the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger in a blink of an eye. Hee, don't forget me, big tiger. A silver bell-like smile also appeared on Tianhua Shenghu. With the appearance of Mu Yingying, the ghost chi that was about to drown the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger was also instantly evaporated, but on Mu Yingying's body, an azure flame was also beating slowly. The Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger looked up, and it was Mu Yingying. What are you doing here? Go back in danger. Tianhua Shenghu also snorted coldly. I don't want it. Since everyone has contributed, I can't be idle, and I will intercept this color with you. The evil in the vortex. Mu Yingying also said casually. When Tianhua Shenghu looked at Mu Yingying, he also had some inadvertent touches. Let's go. Mu Yingying also said a word, and then the two of them walked away towards the giant face in the blood-colored vortex, trying to stifle its attack in the cradle. This power. The giant face in the blood-colored vortex also turned his attention to Mu Yingying. The blue flame on Mu Yingying's body just now made him feel quite frightened. Go to hell. The giant face also turned the attack into a target, completely ignoring Xiao Yang's movements, and went towards Mu Yingying's terrifying attack N. The attack of the giant face condensed. At this time, it has no less than a full-strength blow that is comparable to that of a 5-star human fighting emperor. Just as the terrifying attack came, Mu Yingying pushed away the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger, and the terrifying attack also hit Mu Yingying in an instant, and Mu Yingying was too late to defend. The flames seemed to be rendered by the black aura of ghost chi. Just when it was about to attack Mu Yingying's body, a milky white light exploded instantly, dispersing the huge ghost chi attack in one fell swoop. Dare to kill my sister-in-law? After doing all this, an extremely hearty laughter also echoed in the space. With the sound of this voice, Xiao Yang, who was not far away, also felt that a very familiar aura seemed to return. Hey, you don't care who I am, but it's not your turn to kill this woman. The man also smiled heartily. A rather handsome young man also appeared above the sky. With the appearance of the young man, Xiao Yang's tightly closed eyes also became somewhat moist. Big brother. A voice that ran through the entire infernal corpse forest also appeared, and then several people in the sky saw the young man heading towards the place where Xiao Yang was. It's good to wake up. Xiao Yang also moved the corner of his mouth slightly, and then said lightly, but the excitement contained in his voice could not be concealed. The young man in front of him looked like that Xiao Yi in Xiao Yang's body. Xiao Yi's body is the pure lotus demon fire, but after merging the 23 kinds of flames, she has also produced some mutations that even her master, the Golden Dragon King, did not know, and became a fire elf. And after the first transformation, Xiao Yi also grew from a baby to a handsome young man. The strength has also improved qualitatively. Are you alright? It will take some time. Then leave it to me. Xiao Yang and Xiao Yi, who were in the sky, were talking. After the conversation between the two souls ended, Xiao Yi was also heading towards the ***** whirlpool. You. Who did you say is your sister-in-law? Mu Yingying said angrily at this time. Obviously, although Xiao Yi helped her resist an attack, she was able to resist it at the time, but she would expose some things, and then was shocked by Xiao Yi's words. A girl, a lady, is the most important thing, and it is reasonable to be angry when this man makes such a scene. Ha ha ha, misunderstanding and misunderstanding. Xiao Yi tried her best to get rid of it. Obviously, the relationship between the woman in front of her and her eldest brother Xiao Yang was her own mistake. But you can't blame yourself, can you? The flame aura on his eldest brother Xiao Yang's body is very huge, and he is also a fire elf, and the flame aura on Mu Yingying's body is also quite friendly to the two of them, which is why Xiao Yi misunderstood. Humph. Why don't you give me an explanation? This is not over. Mu Yingying bit her lips slightly, then looked at the blood-colored vortex above the sky, and found that the evil giant face in the blood-colored vortex was also very surprised. Are you alright? The heavenly fire sacred tiger on the side was also extremely worried, skipping the place where Mu Yingying was, and said heavily. Yeah. Mu Yingying also pondered. How could you just do that? Do you know that you can do it like that? The heavenly fire sacred tiger also wanted to anger Mu Yingying just now, but found that Mu Yingying's beautiful eyes exuded a slight pride. Tianhua Shenghu shook his head, and then looked at the sinister giant face in the blood-colored vortex not far away. This is Fire Elf. Chang Yu and Juhun Steely, who were on the spot, also opened their eyes, and then they saw the identity of this man. This kid has more and more secrets. The nine-soul Steely also murmured in a low voice, and then no longer hesitated, and injected the last breath of the past into Xiao Yang's body. It's actually a fire elf. The giant face in the blood-colored vortex was also slightly startled, and then said. Although the giant face was slightly surprised, he could find that the ghosts around Xiao Yi were also very afraid of his flames, and immediately became contemplative. The flames on the woman and this man are not ordinary things. The giant face looked at it for a while, and then without hesitation, the giant face disappeared in the blood-colored vortex, and then the terrifying blood-colored vortex also slowly moved towards the black vortex chain. Yin Xie also understands that the situation at this time is no longer under his control. For now, he can only absorb the ghost energy in this blood-colored vortex and restore it to his peak. Then these people outside are also dying. After all, this infernal corpse forest has been manipulated by himself, and it is impossible to escape except for those who are at the level of fighting immortals. As for his ghost skill, the vortex condensed by the fear of death, even a full-strength blow from an 8-star Do Emperor powerhouse would not be enough, not to mention the few people in front of him who were less than a % of Do Qi. However, my ghost skill has a fatal flaw, and the power of any evil soldier in the ghost world can easily destroy it. But Yin Xie didn't think about it either. After all, he had never seen any of the 12 evil soldiers in the ghost world, let alone these humans. Moreover, Yin Xie also found that the aura of this man is not weak, and now the injured self is not his opponent. It's really fast. Xiao Yi shook her head slightly, and then returned to Xiao Yang. Xiao Yi was also very kind to Xiao Yang. After all, since she remembered, she has always been the one with a heavy weight on her back. The man is protecting himself, walking all the way. Xiao Yang sat cross-legged, and the two extremely terrifying invisible forces in front of him were also merged. What appeared in front of Xiao Yang now was an improved version of the Lotus of Quiet, which was based on the Lotus of Quietness, plus the power of the soul and the compression of the power of the soul. Of course, there are some mysterious powers of the Soul Eater talisman. A rather delicate lotus seed was also slowly distributed in Xiao Yang's hands. Success? Xiao Yi also asked. Well, it worked. Xiao Yang seemed to be understating it, but only he knew the hardships involved. Fortunately, he had the mysterious power of the Soul Eater talisman, otherwise Xiao Yang would be unimaginable. There is a little problem with the fusion between them, so his end is quite miserable. That's. Mu Yingying also turned around, and then her beautiful eyes stared at the delicate lotus seeds in Xiao Yang's hands. How can there be such a dazzling feeling? Mu Yingying also looked away. It seemed that when Mu Yingying stared at the beautiful lotus seed, her beautiful eyes were sluggish, as if the seemingly small beautiful lotus seed it contains an extremely terrifying power that shocks people's soul. That lotus seed. This kid has such a terrifying fighting skill. The Nine Souls Steely also had a savage gaze, and at a glance he recognized the Lotus of Desolation in Xiao Yang's hands, but even with the strength of the Nine Souls Steely, he looked at the desolation in Xiao Yang's hands. When I was in the Lotus, there was also an unnatural feeling in the depths of my soul, which seemed to be because of the Lotus of Silence. Although it's the first time I've used it, I'm confident that it won't be a problem to seriously injure the twin ghost emperors who are now injured. Xiao Yang also smiled slightly, then quickly devoured the medicinal pill to restore the fighting spirit in his body, although the fusion was completed, but more difficult to come. It's just how to break through the ghost technique of the twin ghost emperors, the defense of the blood-colored vortex of fear of death. Xiao Yang also pondered. Obviously, they only have one chance at this time, and the opportunity cannot be missed, so they must be cautious. The Nine Souls Monument and Chang Yu were also condensed slightly when they heard the words. Obviously, when Xiao Yang was condensing the terrifying fighting skills just now, the two of them said that all the fighting energy in their bodies was transferred to Xiao Yang. Do Qi is also rare and pitiful. Hearing Xiao Yang's words, his eyes narrowed slightly. It was Mu Yingying and the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger, who still had a lot of power. Don't worry, leave it to us. Mu Yingying also patted her slightly, and then assured Xiao Yang. It was obvious that the terrifying fighting skills in Xiao Yang's hands had already made the arrogant Mu Yingying look at her with admiration. Then I'll leave it to you. All you have to do is pretend to attract attention, and we'll do the rest. Xiao Yi also said with a heavy expression. Okay. Mu Yingying agreed cheerfully, and then went straight to the Scarlet Vortex with the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger. Are you sure? Xiao Yi also asked. It's less than the second floor, after all, the defensive power of this whirlpool is too terrifying. Xiao Yang said without any concealment. What if you add me? Xiao Yi also laughed suddenly, and then it turned into a milky white light and merged into Xiao Yang's body. Xiao Yang also didn't understand the meaning of what Xiao Yi said, but out of trust, he let Xiao Yi use it. As Xiao Yi entered Xiao Yang's body again, Xiao Yang also felt an extremely terrifying power slowly flowing from his limbs. At this time, Xiao Yang's strength was still at the peak level of the six-star Do Emperor. Xiao Yi's possession gave Xiao Yang the power of a more terrifying and violent flame. However, these powers were also great supplements for Xiao Yang. After the final tempering, it also transformed into his own fighting spirit. Before Xiao Yang could rejoice, he heard Xiao Yi's voice. Brother, my flame is no longer the original flame. Xiao Yi's voice also echoed in Xiao Yang's mind. That's. Xiao Yang also knew that when Xiao Yi took out the crystal from her body just now, she found that the flame aura on Xiao Yi's body had changed a lot, and it seemed that there was some spirituality in the flame. And Xiao Yang also knows that this kind of possession is also attached to his body, and both are prosperous. I already have spirituality. The next time I evolve, I should be able to compete with Shenyang. Xiao Yi's voice also said slowly. Holy flame. Wait for me. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, his breath suddenly soared. Xiao Yang had absorbed the vindictive energy of Juhun Monument and Chang Yu before, but now adding Xiao Yi's strength, Xiao Yang's strength has skyrocketed. The power of the 7-star Do Di in the early stage. It has fully increased the power of 3-step. This was something Xiao Yang had never thought of. And this boosting power is just the same as the refreshing power of the secret method. It is the purest power of the 9-soul monument and Chang Yu. It is only limited by time, and it will not leave any sequelae. This is the root of Xiao Yang's daring to let go. With the soaring strength, Xiao Yang also had a solid armor on top of his body. The flames were burning on the fire armor, and there were some mysterious runes that were quite mysterious, as if they had the power to devour all evil. At this time, Xiao Yang in the sky also smiled knowingly, and then felt this terrifying power, an unheard of power slowly condensed under the attack of Mu Yingying and the Heavenly Fire Holy Tiger. This kid is really beyond my expectations. The Golden Dragon King also said in his heart, and then went silent, and Long Yi was also warned by the Golden Dragon King and did not help Xiao Yang. After all, according to the Golden Dragon King, this kid still has a long way to go in the future, so he can't help him blindly. However, the two of them are always ready. If Xiao Yang has any problems, Then the two of them will take action without hesitation. Shabu. Tianhua Shenghu and Mu Yingying surrounded the blood-colored vortex in the sky one after the other, and then Mu Yingying exuded a terrifying blue flame, while Tianhua Shenghu a fiery red flame, but the fiery red flame also contains a very small azure power. NOVLB//in.C//om. Strange. Why is the flame on this woman a little strange? If it is the power of holy flame, the power is too small, but compared to ordinary flames, it is also too powerful. In the blood-colored vortex, Yin Xie also sat cross-legged, and then countless blood-colored vortexes the ghost qi is also continuously injected into the body of the yin evil. With the injection of ghost qi, some small wounds on Yin Xie's body are slowly healing, and then his strength is also slowly recovering. Boom boom boom. Mu Yingying and Tianhua Sacred Tiger attacked one after the other. The huge flame power shook away the ghost qi at the very edge of the blood-colored vortex, but the next moment, the monstrous ghost qi was also in the sky. Degree to complete it. Boom boom boom. Mu Yingying and Tianhua Sacred Tiger's tireless attacks didn't seem to be very effective, but the two of them were not discouraged at all, and they continued to attack with the fighting spirit in their bodies. Waste. The evil spirit in the blood-colored vortex also snorted coldly, and then stopped looking outside, absorbing the monstrous ghost energy. How come there are so many? Hudu couldn't help but said, the human beings like a hill in front of him were also piled up. Yueru, who came along, bit her lip slightly, and was obviously frightened by the situation in front of her. A human like a hill, if it wasn't for Hudu's words and breath, then it's a pile of corpses. It made people's hearts heavy. Hudu and Wu Jiang circulated their auras, and then an extremely gentle force spread through everyone's body, and then some small black auras evaporated from the people who were arrested. Are these all the people who participated in this point-grabbing competition? Yueru couldn't help but said. It should be almost. Fortunately, we came in time, otherwise if we were one step later. Mu Feng also said. Afterwards, Qiu Huanio and Luo Guang also put down the hill-like people one after another. Fortunately, they have all slowly woken up. This point-grabbing competition is really humble and twists and turns. If I go out this time. Hudu also shook his head secretly. Obviously, the planning and process this time were quite imperfect. That's in the sky. Wu Jiang looked up at the sky after eliminating the black ghosts in everyone's body, but was surprised to find that a very terrifying fluctuation was also from a person in the sky wearing a fire. The figure of the armor radiates out. Xiao Yang, you can definitely do it. Yueru closed her eyes after speaking, apparently praying for Xiao Yang in her heart. The other people who were in the top 10 of the points-grabbing competition were also looking at the sky with different expressions. At this time, the people caught in the corpse forest also slowly woke up, and then almost all of them raised their heads and looked at the huge blood-colored vortex in the sky and a flaming figure wearing fire armor. The sword is coming. The figure in the flame armor spoke slowly. The sword is coming. After finishing speaking, the figure in the terrifying flame armor in the sky raised one hand high, and then the whole body was instantly set ablaze by milky white flames. Immediately, in Xiao Yang's hand, an ancient sword engraved with mysterious ancient runes also appeared in his hand. As soon as the ancient sword came out, the evil in the blood-colored vortex also suddenly opened his eyes, and then looked at Xiao Yang, who was wearing fire armor, with disbelief. This extremely pure power of purification is. How is that possible? Yin Xie couldn't help but said. At this time, the evil had already shrunk in the blood-colored vortex. After all, he had just broken through the seal and was joined by these humans again, and the ghost energy in his body was very weak. It was only when Xiao Yang and Xiao Yi were possessed that Yin Xie felt an extremely terrifying aura coming from the ancient sword. Although I don't know what method you use to forcibly increase to the strength of the 7-star Do Emperor, but if you think about it, it will have a great impact on your future. Pretend to be a ghost. Do you think this emperor will be afraid of you as a human being of the 7-star fighting emperor? A voice full of disdain also appeared in the blood-colored whirlpool. It's just that since the twin ghost emperors can become ghost emperors, their suspicious and cautious personality also exudes an extremely evil aura that surrounds the blood-colored vortex. Although Xie Yin was not afraid of Xiao Yang's attack, the attack of a 7-star Do Emperor powerhouse was not enough to break the defense of this blood-colored vortex. Boom boom boom. The terrifying milky white flame penetrated from Xiao Yang's body and limbs, and then gathered on the top of Xiao Yang's head. At this time, Xiao Yang held the milky white ancient sword in both hands, and a strong wave formed. Although this attack is powerful, the whirlpool against this ghost skill is also. Xiao Yi's voice also appeared in Xiao Yang's mind. I know. Xiao Yang also said with a smile, and the next moment, almost all the soul power in his body suddenly emerged, and he walked away from the palm of his hand. In the palm of his hand, an extremely delicate lotus seed was also hidden by Xiao Yang. This. Sure enough, it's a good idea. Xiao Yi praised Xiao Yang's actions when she saw Xiao Yang's actions. What is this kid doing? Xiao Yang mobilized his huge soul power and naturally did not escape Yin Xie's perception, but Yin Xie did not find the lotus seeds condensed by Xiao Yang. In the sky at this time, it is already very clear. The blood-colored vortex contains extremely terrifying ghost aura and some blood aura, and the evil yin absorbs power in it to restore its own strength. On the other side, Mu Yingying Tianhua Sacred Tiger Nine Soul Monument and Chang Yu also stopped their unnecessary struggles, and then looked at Xiao Yang wearing fire armor in the sky. The Douqi in Tianhua Shenghu and Mu Yingying was only half as much, while the Douqi in Chang Yu and Juhun Monument was even more exhausted at this time. This kid actually has something like a fire elf on his body. Chang Yu couldn't think of it either. This kid has a lot of secrets. Let's not talk about the rarity of this fire elf. Judging from the strength of the fire elf just now, it must be an existence that is comparable to the human 7-star fighting emperor. And that Xiao Yang can make this person willingly call him big brother, this Xiao Yang's personality should be quite convincing. Chang Yu also said slowly. But what is Xiao Yang doing? The Nine Souls tablet laughed, and then there was a hint of doubt in his eyes. This fire elf can actually possess Xiao Yang? After Xiao Yi rushed directly into Xiao Yang's body, an extremely terrifying aura was exuded. This is something that has never happened before. The Nine Souls steely also stared at Xiao Yang, who was wearing fire armor in front of him, and then said solemnly, "It really didn't happen. But that doesn't mean there is no such possibility." Chang Yu laughed at this moment. It seems that we have to find some way to pull this Xiao Yang into our burning incense pavilion. After all, this talent and courage can also be ranked in the top 10 among super sects like us. The sectarian competition at that time will definitely be. Chang Yu also quickly calculated in his heart. Is this Xiao Yang still a human? Mu Yingying also moved her beautiful eyes slightly, and was obviously moved by Xiao Yang's sudden surge of power. Although Mu Yingying asked herself that her strength was at the peak of the 4-star Do Emperor, she did not dare to do so. To deal with the evil spirits rashly, after all, he is also a real ghost emperor after all. This sudden surge in strength was not what moved Mu Yingying the most, but what puzzled Mu Yingying the most was the most terrifying and delicate lotus seed in Xiao Yang's hands holding the milky white ancient sword. I don't know why, but Mu Yingying has a vague guess. Even if Xiao Yang, whose strength has reached the level of the 7-star Do Emperor, is wearing fire armor and holding an ancient sword full of purification power, the attack he launches cannot destroy the edge of the blood-colored vortex of the ghost skill cast by the evil spirits, but Xiao Yang's hand is extremely beautiful. The power contained in the lotus seeds is countless times stronger than Xiao Yang's ancient sword. Is this Xiao Yang trying to feign an attack with a milky white ancient sword to cover up the power of the lotus seed, and he will kill him instantly? The heavenly fire sacred tiger on the side also said with some doubts. Although the power in Xiao Yang's body is now filled with the purest fighting chi of the fire elf Xiao Yi, Juhunbei and Chengyu who have just appeared, and they have reached the level of the 7-star fighting emperor, the heavenly fire sacred tiger also knows that ghost skill. The firmness of the blood-colored vortex. But the power of the lotus seeds in Xiao Yang's hands is really not small. Ads by Pub Future. Even though it's so far apart, I can still feel an aura of destruction. If it were me, there should only be one end. Tianhua Shenghu also muttered. Many people on the ground opened their eyes one after another, and then looked around in confusion. They are clearly still in this infernal corpse forest, where they are still in the looting competition. How come they are here? What happened to these thick ghosts and the slightly weird moon in the sky? There are countless questions in everyone's mind. Even in the face of Wu Jiang's inquiries, they couldn't answer them. They just remembered that when they saw the darkness in front of them, they passed out. I was at a loss, and looked up at the two extremely terrifying forces in the sky at almost the same time. One is the black ghost aura with only swirls mixed with blood, and the other is the flame aura with the extremely pure purification power of the fire spirit. Which one is stronger and the weaker? Xiao Yang seems to be trying his best to hide something. Mu Feng, who was on the ground, was using almost all of his vindictive energy, but fortunately, with the recovery pill given by Xiao Yang, he felt much better. Mu Feng discovered Xiao Yang's actions when Xiao Yang mobilized his enormous soul power. Could it be? Mu Feng also shrank his pupils tightly, then looked at Luo Guang and the others on the ground. He shouted, Everyone, give me your power, quick. When Luo Guang and Qiu Huanyao heard the words, they didn't hesitate. The next moment, one after another terrifying power also spread into Mu Feng's body. Then Mu Feng's heart also moved slightly, and a mysterious blue light instantly covered his body, and then a terrifying force was activated, raising the long sword in his hand and heading towards the blood-colored vortex. It's a little strange that Mu Feng, who has always used a wooden sword, replaced the sword in his hand with a silver sword. On the silver sword body, an aura similar to that of the ghost world suddenly appeared. There seems to be something in the palm of this human kid. The evil spirit in the blood-colored vortex also seemed to have discovered something. This video will end here.